welcome all. So today's topic is what are the event-based compliances which are required post-listing of the specified securities. That means equity shares and the securities. That means debt securities and the preference shares which are convertible into the equity shares which are primarily listed on the IFSC stock exchanges. So in this video, I'll cover all the compliances which are required as per the IFSC listing regulations. Okay. One more thing, I have prepared separate videos on the mandatory quarterly compliances and other mandatory compliances post listing of specified securities on the IFSC stock exchange and things which you should not miss or which you should keep in mind while listing the securities on the IFSC stock exchange. I have mentioned the links for both the videos in the description box. You can simply check from that. One more thing, don't miss to see the shorts section on my YouTube channel. In this shorts, it will help you to enhance your knowledge as well as brush your knowledge. So let's start. First, regulation 87. So this listing regulation also, I have mentioned the link of this IFSC listing regulations in the description box. So you can click on that link and you will able to see the entire regulations. Regulation 87, it is for the material and price sensitive information. This is materiality or the price sensitive information means the information if it is not informed to the public publicly, that means publicly not available or it's not published, then it will affect the price of the securities of the company or the information which is material in the opinion of the board of directors. Such information you must, or in event you must have to inform to the IFSC stock exchange. What are the timeline? Immediately. So again I am repeating in the separate video on that quarterly compliance I have also mentioned. So the meaning of the word immediately means promptly but not later than 24 hours from the occurrence of the event. So you have to inform about such information on event immediately on the IFSC stock exchange. And you also have to keep and prepare a policy, separate policy for the determination of the materiality, and you have to also publish such policy on the website of the company, that is listed entity. Coming to next, regulation 88. So any amendment to the articles of association or memorandum of association or any constitutional document. So in India, for the Indian companies, we are having two constitutional documents for the companies, for the Indian companies, that is articles of association and memorandum of association. But for the foreign companies, there may be any other document which may be known as other than this MOA AOA. So any amendment in this constitutional document of the company, that is listed entity, you have to immediately inform to the stock exchange. Next, regulation 91. Change in director or KMP or auditor or CEO, that is compliance officer. Here the meaning of compliance officer is same as per SEBI LODR regulation. That means the company secretary can only be appointed as a compliance officer. So any change you have to immediately inform to the stock exchange. That means in case of appointment you have to inform the immediately. However, in case of resignation, so in case of resignation of auditor, you have to also give the detailed reason for the resignation of such auditor, and in case of resignation of the director, KMP or compliance officer, you have such director, KMP and compliance officer have to give in writing if they are aware of any irregularity having material impact on the listed entity. So it is the responsibility of the resigning director, KMP and compliance officer to inform the stock exchange about these things. So by informing the stock exchange, the information is available publicly. So the intention is the publicly who are having interest in such entity, they can be aware about the things. And the timeline is not more than 1 working day. Okay. So in case of resigning of auditor, once you receive such information, once you receive the detailed reason, the listed entity has to inform within 1 working day, not later than 1 working day, promptly but not later than 1 working day. Okay. Next, and for this also the timeline is same for the director, KMP and compliance officer. Coming to next, regulation 92. Adverse opinion by the auditor about the listed entity or its subsidiary. Okay. In case of such any qualification or adverse opinion by the auditor, you have to inform the stock exchange immediately. Next, Regulation 93, investigation. Okay, so if some authority, that means authority here means IFSCA, International Financial Service Center Authority, or the stock exchange is required to appoint some particular person for doing such investigation in the affairs of the company or in the matter of the company. In such case, the listed entity has to inform about such appointment, and in case there is any findings by such investigator, it has to inform to the stock exchange immediately. Okay, next, regulation 94, encumbrances. So encumbrances means if any promoter or the controlling shareholders, that means promoters are having control over the listed entity, and controlling shareholders, that means they are having the control over the management or the business affairs of the company by the shareholding of that uh, listed entity. So they have encumbered their securities. That means they have given such shares as a pledge and borrowed money from such some person. In such case, in case of such creation of an encumbrance, or in case of revocation, or in case of any change, such things has to be informed by the promoters and controlling shareholders to the listed entity. So this has to be informed to listed entity by this person within 2 working days from such creation, modification, or revocation. And then post receipt of this information of encumbrance, listed entity has to inform stock exchange, because this person cannot directly inform to stock exchange. Listed entity can only inform to the stock exchange. Okay, so listed entity has to inform stock exchange immediately post receipt of this information. Now regulation 99, this is for corporate governance report. So this is part of annual report. Okay, so annual report you have to submit post it is approved by the board of directors immediately to the stock exchange. So this point is covered in that quarterly and mandatory compliances video. So next, you have to describe the corporate governance practices in the annual report, which is adopted by the listed entity as per the laws of the jurisdiction of its incorporation. For example, if the company is Indian company, then as per the company law will be applicable. So as per the Companies Act, it has to comply with the corporate governance practice. In case of foreign entity, for example, it's a Singapore entity, companies and incorporated in the Singapore, so you have to comply with the law of the Singapore. Okay, so the jurisdiction is important. So jurisdiction of incorporation. Okay, so wherever the company is incorporated, you have to adopt that law. In addition to that, you have to also comply with the IFSCA specified corporate governance norms. Okay, next, regulation 100, it's sustainability report. So sustainability report is again part of the annual report. In this you have to mention the environmental, social, and the governance factors which are for the financial year. Okay, which are maintained by the listed entity, and the timeline is within 6 months after the end of the financial year. Okay, so here the meaning of financial year as per the jurisdiction of the incorporation. For Indian companies, we are maintaining the financial year from 1st April to 31st March, but in case of the foreign companies, there may be the financial year from 1st Jan to 31st December. So you have to consider this timeline accordingly. Next, okay, so this sustainability report part is not applicable in case the market capitalization of that listed entity is less than 50 million, 50 million US dollar. Okay. Next, regulation 101, corporate action. So you have to inform about the company's planned corporate action in advance to the stock exchange. Okay. Here the timeline is not specified, but it is assumed that once it is approved by the board or shareholders, wherever it is required shareholders approval, you have to inform immediately post its approval to the stock exchange. The corporate action includes such as a split of shares or dividend declaration, consolidation of shares, or say bonus issue. Okay, etc. And for the record date, for example, in case of declaration of dividend, the record date is pre-decided. Okay, so in that case, you have to give the intimation about the record date at least 3 working days in advance. Okay, from the record date. Okay, so these are the compliances which are event based compliances in case the post listing of specified securities on the IFSC stock exchange. So these are applicable when the securities are listed as the primarily listed. Okay. I have made a separate short in what are the compliance in case the secondary listing on the IFSC stock exchange. So you can simply check the short section, or I have also mentioned the link in the description box. Stay connected for more videos. Bye.